Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Javon, and as always, please like, follow, and subscribe to follow me on my journey towards financial freedom, where we'll talk mindset, business, and travel. So today, I want to talk to you guys about something that always comes up, if not in marketing or a question. And it's the truth about doing real estate with no money down. Is it possible? Is it for real? If so, what's the catch? So, when they say no money down, I'm gonna say that's not true. When they say little to no money down, it's kind of like a sneaky way to say it, but it's a little bit more believable when you say little to no money down. But the truth is, you're always gonna have to pay someone. But the good thing is, you're not gonna pay as much out of pocket as you would think, given whatever situation you're in. So let's put actual numbers in this situation, right? So let's say you have a property that's 100K and you have construction that needs to get done for that property. Let's say the construction is 50K, right? So altogether, you need 100K to purchase the property and 50K to rehab the property. So then you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get this money? So you have options. One option is you could go to a private lender and say, hi, I have this real estate transaction and I don't have the money for the transaction. You know, can you spot me the rehab and the acquisition costs? In total, 150. And you could work out a deal with this individual where you could pay them interest only payments on a loan of $150,000 until you finish the project. And then you do what's called a cash out refi, where you go to a bank and get the entire amount of the 100 for the acquisition, the 150 for the rehab. And if that was a well-structured deal, you'll have some equity in the property. Banks typically like to see 25%. So then you return that money to the private lender and you have a mortgage now of $150,000. Or if you borrowed some out of the equity of the house, whatever that much is. So that's one situation where it's little to no money down. But in that situation, you're gonna pay interest payments to that private lender. So it's not an entire amount of $150,000 up front, but you're paying small payments to that particular lender. So another situation would be you go to a hard money lender. And hard money loans are normally short-term loans. Sometimes they go up to 2 years, depending on the lender. Every lender is different. So let's give a situation with a loan that I recently took out. And mine was for a year, and they provided 100% of the rehab and up to 80% of the acquisition. So what does that mean? So what that means is, let's say the property is 100K and the rehab, for consistency's sake, let's say is 50K. I would have to go to the hard money lender and say, hey, what terms are you willing to negotiate on this? Because they typically charge points, and one point, it's like the equivalent of 1%. So, you have to factor in points. Then, like I said, they cover 100% of the rehab costs. So that's 50K in this case. And for the acquisition, up to 80%. So that means you'll have to bring 20% to the table. So they'll take the 100K plus the 50K and add that up together. And 20% of that will be your down payment that you have to bring to the closing table in order to purchase that property. So after the construction is finished for that property, you'll then go to the bank again, and the same process. You'll get a cash out refi and have a mortgage of 150, or if you take out some, whatever that amount is, to repay your lender and the construction cost that the lender provided. And the 20%, it will be in your pocket. Depending on how much the property appraised for, because you'll need to leave equity inside the building or house or whatever it is, because that's what the bank likes to see to cover its bases. So that's two situations where it's little to no money down. Another way to do this in real estate is if you partner with someone. Your partner has the experience in construction, or they also have the money, and you maybe could project manage for them. So go check on the project, see the status, see if things are flowing right for that project. You have to find some way to provide value other than monetary means or construction knowledge, if you don't have it, to that person that has the money and the know-how. But if they have the money and the know-how, that's very rare that you could provide so much value that they'll be willing to part with some money to pay you. Another way that you could do real estate with little money down is through what's called wholesaling. And wholesaling is the bread and butter of real estate deals. Is basically, how could you find properties at a discounted value that can make it appealing to an investor that wants to rehab that particular property. For example, let's say you have a house and it has tall grass, you see mail outside, the roof looks like it's about to cave in, the windows are shattered or boarded up. This house just looks like a problem to that neighborhood. It looks bad to that neighborhood, but it's in a really decent neighborhood. All the other houses around are in decent or excellent conditions, but this one is just on its last leg. So you would strike up a conversation with that homeowner and see, hey, your property is worth 200K fix up, but right now I'll have to put maybe 50 into it to, get it to market condition. I could sell it to you for, then could you talk to the owner and be like, hey, could I buy it for maybe 90 or 100? And whatever you agree on, you're going to take that number, then add in the renovation costs, plus a little bit in there for you for doing the job and structuring the deal. Then you go to a buyer and be like, hey, I have this property that I bought for 100. It needs 50. It needs 50 in renovations and 10K. So let's say 160. So you go to buy, but I have a property for 160. Would you be interested? And they'll look at the numbers and say, hey, I have a possibility to make 40K on this, or whatever. So you make the money through the spread by finding deals discounted, have the renovation costs that seems reasonable, make sure it works, the numbers are tight, and you give that to a person that does renovations. So in a recap, those are ways that you could get into real estate for little money. It's very hard to get into real estate with no money. You have to bring either a lot of value or sacrifice your time, but little money is a little bit more possible for people that's starting out. So you could go to a private lender, borrow the money from them, but they're going to want to see experience, and it got to be a good deal. You could go to a hard money loan lender. Again, same thing. Need experience. Got to bring money to the table, at least 20% plus points, closing costs. You could partner with someone. You're gonna have to bring them a lot of value. It just has to make sense to them. Why would they part their money to teach you the game? Or you could start off by wholesaling, and again, you have to market, reach out to people, constantly talk to homeowners until you find a deal that works. So 4 ways to get into real estate with little money, and hopefully this could be useful to you or someone you know. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.